hello there, humanoids, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're lucky enough to be doing it too. You know, I've done that intro probably 800 times, and I've never called anyone humanoids. But there you go. Congratulations, le humanoids. So I'm Bushka on Blitz, you're here to watch, and I'm here to talk, and pretty much, hopefully, those things come together in a beautiful union of justice and, YouTube vanity, and we make a whole lot of music that's at least cacophonous. Look at me throwing the words out there. This is a funny old video. It's an odd video, actually. It's a video of some games I had. One of them's from a run with Mike 8. One of them's from a run with Dark Magician Girl. Another one's from just me tooling about here in the Type 59. I got to thinking about why we do the things we do, and how you go through processes all the time. Like you see, I'm coming around a corner in a Type 59, nothing spotted, and I've angled up correctly, and I've stopped in the right position, and then I'm going to go to the next part of my angles and look for targets that I can hit from camo and all that, and it's all well and good, and that's how you do it, and that's how you roll, and you end up being quite successful with that. And you can even see in this video, when I just get a bit lazy at the end, when I know we have the game won, my play deteriorates pretty savagely, and it's very obvious. And you can see right now I'm looking at a building in front of me. I'm going to go up and use that to shield me from damage incoming on the right, and then I'm going to keep my angles ready to go again, come around the corner in the correct manner the next way, and it's all very, very obvious and self-evident. And you can see that it's solid gameplay. It's really thought out, and I'm absorbing everyone that's around me. And it's not always like that, but often it is. And that's a good thing. Now, why am I making this point? Well, the Type 59 is obviously a very, very good tank. And it's not really a Type 59 review. What it is a review of the processes that go into good play. Now, that might sound a bit esoteric and a little bit vague and ambivalent and ambiguous, and some might say Bushka's just trying to use footage from 3 particular games, but that's not true at all. I've got a lot of footage at the moment. I've had a bit of a renaissance with Blitz. I'm jumping around on the NA server while the Asia server is out of commission, and I don't think I've enjoyed the game this much for a long time, and I'm having some really fun games and getting heaps and heaps of good footage out. So why these 3 particular games? I thought this was a game that illustrated just, there I switched to high explosive on the right target. But it's the kind of game that if you want to get a good win rate, you just put these things into your gameplay. You drive the right tanks and you drive them in the right manner, and you give them the best opportunity to be successful. And then some games you'll win and other games you'll lose. And you'll end up with a blue win rate, and you won't win everything. And if you're sensible, you'll understand that, and you'll still be able to have a laugh and a giggle about the losses and the funny moments and everything. That's why we do the derp diaries. It's why we do all that stuff. But the real salient point that I'm making there is that you put these processes into your gameplay. And what that means is even when you are in horrible situations, as you'll see in one of these games, you can still do the right thing. And that means that over time, you'll actually win some of those crazy games that you don't expect to win. Because when they get lazy, like I do right at the end of this, and just sit there in front of a tank and bounce a shot and don't move and just take a shot, and it's like, whatever, you can take advantage of that, and you can actually turn around and make things a winner. Now, the next 2 games I'm going to show you aren't particularly spectacular. It's not that they're particularly spectacular at all that I want to show them to you. It's because, particularly in the case of this game, there are 2 things going on. One of them is, it's a fantastic example, in part, of good play and solid play and thoughtful play, and the kind of play that I've been talking about when I was talking about that T59 game earlier, and the kind of play that I'd encourage anyone who is watching the channel to emulate if you're a newer player. I mean, even if you're a good player, this is pretty solid right the way through. But even better is the fact that you can see when I kind of switch off and think, yeah, we got this one. And you can see the mistakes that Absolutely glaring mistakes. And I think that's far more educational than just showing you 3 games that I play as near as close to perfect. So we're going to look at this one, and you can see I've pushed. I'm in a light tank. This is the T21, the Tier 6 American light tank, which I actually quite like. I think it's a good little tank. And I'm pushing on up. And I found them. There they are. Now what I'm going to do here is operate in very close proximity to a lot of big, ugly, nasty tanks. Tanks I don't want to deal with. And I'm going to poke. Now poking is where you go around the corner to get a shot off. And I'm going to poke when I get the opportunity, like when that Fury's reversing and he's looking at other targets, or when there is a target worth possibly taking a hit point trade for. And you can see here I'm keeping an eye on absolutely everyone, making sure that I don't get in any trouble at all. I'd love to clear that KV2. There's a Fury, there's a VK coming. I think I can get away with this one before the VK gets around the corner, and we do in fact do that. And then I wait and recover and wait until he fires again. There he goes, and get another shot, but I'm not going to shoot him. I actually want to shoot the KV2. Here we go. KV2's there. Once the KV2 fires, I'm going to actually take a chance. There he goes, he's fired on the VK, putting shots into me because I really want to clear that KV2. In fact, I'm willing to actually sacrifice my hit points to clear the KV2 because he's a very, very important target to get rid of. And then we're going to clear this guy here. And there you go. Feel like the game's pretty much won. And this is where I start getting really lazy. You'll see. I make a terrible hit point trade here. There is no reason for me to be driving forward into a Sherman Jumbo in a T21 light that has no turret armor and firing on the reload. Like, absolutely no reason, because all I'm going to do is take damage. And you can see you let these lazy habits slip into your game. I'm thinking he's shooting at someone else. Sure, I can just sit here and farm damage. Yeah, no problem. I'll just farm more damage, farm more damage, farm more damage. I'm not even going to move. I'll just go forward and back a bit. And I'm going to take another lazy one in just a second because I bounce this shot. I don't bounce it, rather. I low roll. Or I don't low roll. I don't roll enough. Take 151 hit points worth of damage there. It's important because we nearly lose this. And, well, not really nearly lose it, but we could. And you can see this shot here. Lazy, 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 lazy game. I got 12 hit points left all of a sudden, and the only shots I've taken were shots I didn't really need to take. I could be just about on 900 health, and now I've finally decided to stop and reset my camo. And Mike's saying, quite rightly, could lose this, and I'm saying, yeah, I'm thinking the same bloody thing, because 4 tanks, that's a KV-1S, 400 health, he can clear a couple of tanks here very simply. There's 2 if the T150 gets lucky, if that shot goes in. I've got to start thinking about it. And that's why I harp on about this stuff. The process, the process, the process. Because you cannot control the result. You can't control the result. You can do what you can do. Everyone else dies, then sometimes the maths just becomes untenable. You're 5 tanks on 1 tank, and you can't control that outcome. And that's a decent game. It's a mastery game. 2,500 damage in a T21. That'll get you the mastery, high caliber, good stuff. But it was error-ridden in the second half. And I didn't really buckle down until I started resetting camo and actually watching my hit points. And then you get to situations like this, where poor old Dark Magician Girl has jumped in a Panther 8.8. I've just seen Panther and grabbed a Comet, and immediately we've loaded up in a Tier 9 game on Himmelsdorf, and I've gone, Ripper, gun depression will save us, tongue-in-cheek, because it's a flat map. Gun depression isn't going to help us. And Dark Magician Girl has quite rightfully gone, oh boy, this is going to be tough. And this is when your processes are going to help. And you're also going to see I get horrific lag in this game as well. And I'm driving a Tier 7 medium, and there's a Yag Tiger in there and a Leopard PTA, and everyone else apart from their Tiger 1 is Tier 8. And I'm well behind DMG here. I'm quite worried. I've got 1,200 hit points. That's not a lot of hit points. I do have DPM. I don't have much pen. And this is when you get in this kind of situation. It's like when you're trying to get a Kolobanov, or you're trying to 1v2 multiple tanks, when you start thinking and you start focusing in and you start working on the things that you've practiced so many thousands of times before, and they become second nature, and you can actually do all right, even in the worst of situations. And that's what I'm doing here. I come back to the end of the field. I start trying to effectively hit point trade. We want to clear that Tiger 1, at least if at all possible, before he actually gets into the game, and we start working the numbers. We're looking at the tank coming up into the left, the T-54 lightweight. We don't waste our shot. Here comes a Yag. We're going to use this little bit of... look at that lag. How's that for proper lag? I'm jiggling and wiggling all over the place here because I quite literally cannot control the tank. It's just kind of going everywhere. And we keep our angles correctly. Here comes a lightweight behind us. We're going to try and clear this guy first, though, in the Yag Tiger, because he's far and away the biggest issue. And we watch our angles. We're very, very careful. We're now going to go right next to the Yag Tiger, and then we're going to try and clear the 54 lightweight. And there we go. Get rid of him. And now into the 54. Again, trying to shield DMG here so that I am the target and that I can share my hit points with my platoon mate. And DMG gets taken out from the back, unfortunately, by that KV4 there. We clear him. Really simple, but I'm really quite proud of that game because we worked the numbers. We shared our hit point pool. +2, -2 matchmaking is back. And we did all right. Hey, like this IS-3 is trying to work around behind our tortoise. And we're just going to work him over. Love the new camo scheme on the IS-3, by the way. That one there. I love the new model. Not so much the camo scheme. And we're going to come out of that with 4 kills. Top Gun, tier 9 game. And I think about 2,300 damage, something along those lines. 2364 first class, Top Gun. DMG did 2,815. And all we did there was run the exact same stuff we ran in the good parts of the T21 game and the good parts of the Type. Pound the rock, guys. Pound the bloody rock. If you're wondering what that means, it means it's not the 1000th blow that splits the rock perfectly for the sculptor. It is the 999 that he took before that. When you see a good game on YouTube, you can rest assured that they didn't just open up the box on their iPad, download Blitz, and walk in and get 7,000 damage. Unless they're driving a 183. Ooh, oof. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Love your work. Thanks very much for persevering with me and putting up with me. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate the continued interaction of Blitz players as a community. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.